I'm Matt Bishar with NAREIT.com. I'm here in Washington, D.C. at the Marriott Marquis Hotel for REITWise 2016, NAREIT's Law, Accounting, and Finance Conference. Joining me is Ron Bohlert, Manager of Global Listings with the New York Stock Exchange. Ron, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Matt. Pleasure to be here.
Now, beginning last fall, we saw REIT IPO activity start to become quite stagnant. What market factors do you think have contributed to that slowdown?
There were a combination of factors that sparked a significant amount of volatility in the equity markets, most notably the situation in China. There was a concern of their economy slowing down on a global scale and impacting other markets as well. Then we had the People's Bank of China embarking on multiple currency devaluations, sent shockwaves across the globe, sent equity markets into a tailspin, selling off, and again, adding to that volatility. In addition, we had the continued pressure on oil prices, trading at or around $40, which hadn't been seen in years, on supply concerns, and then also on demand concerns from areas such as China and Europe. So all of that combined then had the Fed rethinking if and when they were going to raise interest rates. So a lot of uncertainty out there in the marketplace. It kept companies from being able to get on the road and effectively price their deals. And those that did get on the road found it to be a very difficult pricing environment, with institutions and investors looking for pretty steep discounts in exchange for their investment dollars.
Now, looking at the potential pipeline as well as the market factors you see now, when do you think we might see the IPO activity pick back up?
Ultimately, if you look at it, companies still, they need capital for expansion, to pay down debt. Early investors still need liquidity. Private equity-backed companies are looking for exits. The equity markets are standing by, and there's trillions of dollars out there of growth capital that only a handful of companies can access without the IPO market. So it'll be interesting to see the first few that test the waters and how they fare, because that could be a great barometer for the rest of 2016.
And of course, another factor that's had an impact on the REIT market and real estate pricing is the continued influx of foreign capital into U.S. real estate. What impact do you think that has on potential IPOs?
Real estate assets offer a pretty good level of price transparency. You know what you're getting, you know how to effectively price them, and also a pretty good level of liquidity for investors. So if you look at all of that, and then you look at the limited opportunities available for stable assets on the global scale, in the global arena, it's tough to see this changing anytime soon. And then when you look at it from a public company standpoint, we've seen somewhat of a gap forming between the public values and then the asset values. It's been a little bit more difficult for companies to access the public markets to raise capital, to compete with some of that private equity or global dollars coming into the U.S. markets. Also a lot more difficult for IPOs to try to access that as long as that gap exists. Fortunately, the recent rally in the market has been closing that a little bit, and we think that could create a lot more opportunities for the public companies to get back involved and issue equity and also come out on the IPO side.
And lastly, can you just tell us about some of the recent developments at the New York Stock Exchange?
Well, New York Stock Exchange is always looking for ways to better engage with our listed community and try to help them out as listed companies. And with that in mind, we've embarked on a major renovation project of our real estate asset, the New York Stock Exchange. This project will result in over 25,000 square foot of usable meeting and event space for our listed companies. This is almost a 50% increase over what we had prior. The space is going to include 17 rooms over 2 different floors, capable of over 600 people in attendance if you wanted to utilize all the rooms, with state-of-the-art technology, AV capabilities, media, top-notch catering. So, we're really looking forward to having our guests join us and utilize this space. Scheduled for completion early Q1 2017, and we're definitely happy to have our listed companies come down to our historic venue and our unique space.
Great. Ron, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Matt.
For more from REITWise 2016, be sure to visit REIT.com.